What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about Healthier Choices Management, tickers HCMC. So some pretty good lawsuit news did come out. I want to discuss what that was and in the end, if it actually even matters. So I'm going to go over all that. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get right to it. So like I said on my last video, we have been barcoding between that 0001 and 0002 range, but orienting towards that 0002 because of the huge amount of buying pressure that is happening. Kind of weird to see this happen, but it is because of that news that did come out right here on April 11th about the whole spinoff of Healthier Choices Wellness Corp, HCWC, and this ratio. So 71,000 to 1 ratio, that is what the conversion is going to be. And so for instance, if someone has 50,000 for argument's sake, they have to bump it up to that 71,000, so which would mean that they would be buying some shares. So they're buying some shares just to bump it up, just to get that conversion rate, because anything less than that is not going to be any fractional shares or anything. So in general, if you have 70,999, you are not going to be participating in this rollout. But like I said, I already touched on this on the previous video, but based on this news that did come out, it looks like Healthier Choices Management Corp announces success in its appeals of the rulings in patent infringement action against Philip Morris. So in here, it says that they basically won 2 of the appeals. And of course, that is pretty good, but there still is the bigger picture. So ultimately, the bigger lawsuit is still at play right now. So in my opinion, it is a little bit more of a tentative win if you want to consider it that way, but bigger picture still has a little bit more of a tentative problem per se. And when I talk on a problem, they still have to go through the initial lawsuit and potentially win that. On a positive note, they are getting some money back that they did pay for the attorney fee. So Philip Morris's attorney fee, so it did cancel them. So I guess that is considered a pretty positive thing. But I think, like I said, a lot of people are just focusing now on this whole spinoff and trying to wonder how everything is going to come into play. Because, for instance, all the intellectual property, vitamin store, the qcup, and the vape store as well is all going to be still staying as HCMC. So basically, this lawsuit is under HCMC due to the intellectual properties. So for instance, with them getting money back now because of the whole cancellation of the legal fees for Philip Morris, then what does that mean? Does that mean more money is going to be given to HCMC, or is somehow HCWC going to take that money? And I started to think out loud one day, and I was wondering who is actually going to be managing HCMC. And of course, with basically them taking all the actual assets and everything else, and plus the grocery chain, the wellness center, and so forth, what is going to be truly left with HCMC is considered worthless, especially considering, for instance, the qcup and the vape store, they ceased operations. That is just dead businesses, dead weight right now. Vitamin store, I do believe that this is still functioning, if I remember correctly. So correct me if I am wrong on that, because keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, so you guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. But I was under the impression the vitamin store, based on the last earnings, is still operational. Intellectual properties was dead up until, like I said, this news that did come out. So now begs the question, what exactly is going to be happening, for instance, with any proceeds from a potential win in a lawsuit? Or just generally speaking, how is money going to be generated to potentially kind of start up the vitamin store again? Because is HCMC just going to get rolled out and kind of all the vital assets and cash get moved to HCWC, HCMC is going to be left? So in general, I think a lot of people got very much excited about this whole spinoff, but those investors that, for instance, got in because of the lawsuit are now asking the question, what is going to happen? Because in here, they do say that you still will ultimately end up with HCMC, your original stock, your existing stock per se, and also your conversion, that 71,000 to 1. So you're going to end up with both stocks. But like I've said in the past, HCMC is unfortunately just going to die. But now with the lawsuit, like, who's going to be paying legal fees? Like, for instance, this is now past the appeal stage, so it is tentatively going into back to the original lawsuit, which is very, very costly. So who is paying that? So again, this is just me thinking out loud. I always like to play devil's advocate and ask these tough questions that maybe people are not asking or answering or whatever it might be. So let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below. Of course, it would be very good to have this kind of context prior to the ex-dividend date on May the 1st of this whole rollout, because in my opinion, on May 1st, because like I've mentioned on the previous video, you have to own HCMC going into May the 1st. You can't buy it on May the 1st and expect this to happen, this whole spin-off. You're not going to get it. You have to own it as what they say 3 business days before, but typically in my experience, I've always just bought it a couple of days before and that works out perfectly fine. But like I've said, May the 1st, I do anticipate just the stock of HCMC just to die because all of the actual assets are going to be leaving, which again, if you are thinking out loud like me, what is going to happen with the lawsuit potentially? So again, let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below, unless I guess if they do somehow do a spin-off of this HCWC, but now they do say that they're going to be taking the intellectual properties. That might be a little bit more of a potential twist that they do. And of course, because this intellectual properties is now having a potential asset benefit to, for instance, HCWC. Again, let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below. But no matter what though, I don't anticipate it to break this 0002 range. But still, regardless, it's a pretty good sight to see that there is a nice positive momentum of buying that has been happening. For instance, even on Friday, there's 1.7 billion shares traded, whereas the average is 651 million. So definitely a lot more buying has been happening, like I said, because of that whole kind of conversion rate. Again, if you guys have any questions about this whole conversion and HCWC and things like that, take a look at my other video. I'll link that in the description below as well for you guys to pop over and take a look, because in my opinion, it answers and kind of justifies all of this in the end. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. If you do like my content, want to support the channel, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. Actually, one final thing on a side note. For those of you that have been investing since HCMC and been watching my channel, because I actually started my channel back in, I think, April 2021, and I started to cover HCMC. So if you are still interested in me covering, for instance, HCWC, let me know in the comments below, or if I should just cut it with HCMC, because I still do like, for instance, the qcup vape store, but like I said, I think HCMC itself might just go away. But again, neither here nor there. But one final thing I just wanted to share with you, there is a good promo with Moomoo, link in the description below and also the comments. Just sign up for a free account and you get 1 free stock. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Moomoo also does have $0 commission and free level 2 trading. So just sign up for a free account, take advantage of this promo. It is a complete no-brainer. Plus, if you want to throw $100 at the account as well, you do get additional 4 free stock. So like I said, a complete no-brainer. Link in the description below and also the comments. So make sure you guys do that. Without further ado, I appreciate you guys watching.